Good evening. Welcome, everyone. I'm Michelle Glaze, Director of Professional Outreach for the Foundation Fighting Blindness, global leader in driving retinal degenerative disease research. We want to welcome you to Foundation Forums for Blindness, Cincy Source. The Foundation Forums are a virtual professional networking opportunity for different organizations to come together and showcase and highlight resources, support, opportunities that they have for individuals in the blind and low vision community at a local level. We do have some eye care professionals that we've invited to participate in this call as well, so that everybody is aware of all the wonderful services out there when individuals are diagnosed with an inherited retinal disease or a blinding condition. We want to ensure that folks know where to turn and where to go for all sorts of different opportunities at a local level. I want to start by introducing our founding member team. We have Dr. Mike Lyons.
Hi.
Hi there. Welcome.
Thank you.
We have Jim Shirk on the call.
Hello, everyone.
And Lisa Kemp.
Hello.
And the founding member team is a team that pulled all this together in Cincinnati to make this opportunity possible on a quarterly basis. So every quarter we meet virtually and bring together different organizations and professionals to highlight what they have to offer, any local area events or opportunities, and just general collaboration. Our next Cincy Source meeting will be in July. But before we kick off with presentations, I want to invite any of our founding members to say a couple of words or just say hello. So team, if there's anything you want to share before we get started, I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, Michelle. Like she said, I'm Mike Lyons, and I am a private practice owner here in Cincinnati. I would say that I'm a little unique because I am married to somebody that does have a vision disability. My wife has Stargardt's. And Michelle, I just want to appreciate you bringing this all together. I really appreciate all of your efforts and our team's efforts. So I thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lyons. We appreciate you being a part of Cincy Source and Foundation.
Thank you.
This is Jim Shirk. I'm the vice president of our local chapter of FFB, and just want to thank you all, especially the participants, for agreeing to share your resources. That'll be available to all eye care professionals in the area. And again, just to encourage, the emphasis that really is hope. And while it may not be the diagnosis that a lot of patients and their families are looking for, it really is, it's not so bad. And there's really a community of support out there, both with the resources that are being shared as well as within our local chapter. So again, just want to thank you all, and I look forward to the presentations.
Thanks, Jim.
I am Lisa Kemp, and I've been volunteering with the foundation for about 7 years now. I have retinitis pigmentosa, and as my vision slowly began to deteriorate over the years, I was told about different resources and services that would be available to me, and I took advantage of everyone that I could. And I am a big fan of resources for the reason that I truly believe that is why I was able to have such a successful professional life. And the resources have also helped me with my personal life. So I appreciate everybody who attends these Cincy Source forums and presents on the resources that are out there for all of us.
Thank you, Lisa. Our founding member team has done a lot of work to bring these meetings together. So I appreciate all that you do, and thank you for advocating for the blind and low vision community in your area and beyond. So for this evening, we have 4 excellent presentations. This session is being recorded. This recording will be placed on the Cincy Source page, which is located on the Foundation website. So if you go to fightingblindness.org, click on the For Eye Care Professionals tab, and then click Foundation Forums for Blindness. On that list, you'll see Cincy Source. That page contains our founding member team. It contains all of the professional resource groups who have participated in Cincy Source, and also recordings of previous sessions. So all that information is housed on the page. We encourage you to visit that page. We encourage you to share the webpage and Cincy Source with other professionals or patients, individuals in your communities who might benefit from learning about these resources. So I will be introducing each of our speakers for this evening. When the presenter is brought on, they're going to tell a little bit about themselves, their role in the organization that they are representing, and then some of the services and opportunities that might be available through the organization. Each of our presenters will have about 10 minutes to do to highlight their organization. And we will have you all hold questions until everyone has had the opportunity to present. So we will have time for Q&A at the end. If something comes to mind and you want to enter a question into the chat, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, we will invite you for questions after all 4 presentations. There are no slides during these presentations this evening, so it's all conversation. All right, and then after the presentations and Q&A, we will have a little opportunity for what we call a resource roundtable. So if there are any professionals on the call that want to showcase or highlight any upcoming events or opportunities, we'll invite you to do that towards the end of tonight's meeting. So without further ado, I would like to introduce James. And James, I'd love you to hop on and take the stage here and tell us a little bit about you and Blindness Institute of Technology.
Absolutely. Hopefully I'm coming through loud and clear. My name is James Warnken. I live in Ohio, but more in the Northeast side. So I'm in the same city as the Pro Football Hall of Fame, where I've lived my entire life. At the age of 9, I was diagnosed with Stargardt's as well. I'm 27, soon to be 28. So for the last 18 years or so, I've been progressively losing my vision. Originally, I had a background in digital marketing and technology before learning about the world of accessibility, getting connected with the Blind Institute of Technology, and ultimately shifting career paths very early on into the digital accessibility space. And so today I am the subject matter expert at Blind Institute of Technology for all things digital accessibility. And so I can answer the most questions about that, but from a very high level, quick overview of Blind Institute of Technology, or BIT for short. BIT at its core is a nonprofit staffing and recruiting agency for individuals with disabilities. And so the whole goal, everything that BIT does, is working towards getting people with disabilities in gainful employment opportunities. And so there's a couple of different verticals to the conversation. I'll start with the Academy at Blind Institute of Technology. The Academy is the space for individuals with disabilities to upskill and gain industry recognized certifications, not just a certificate of completion, but industry recognized, globally recognized certifications in either currently digital accessibility or Salesforce. Again, I'm specific to the accessibility, so I might be a little bit biased in the conversation. Both of those, the Academy courses that are currently offered, are absolutely incredible. They've done exactly what they've been designed to do, which is get people certified and get them get their resumes and their portfolios sort of ramped up or reskilled in the direction that those individuals want to pursue. There are additional courses that are currently in development outside of the realm of accessibility in Salesforce. Some of those include project management, some are front-end engineering, more in the technology space. So there's a lot of things in the roadmap for BIT when it comes to the Academy. I am the lead instructor for the accessibility course. And that is a course designed and dedicated to helping individuals prepare for the IAAP Certified Professional in Accessibility Core Competencies exam. In the last 2 years, I've led that class 4 times, currently in our 5th time running the course. We've had more than 85 students go through the course, and more than 40 of them get that CPAC certification. So it's been very, very effective in getting that certification, but more importantly, it's been very effective in getting people placed in career opportunities, whether that's in state governments, that's in Fortune 500, Fortune 100 businesses. We've had people go into some of those organizations as the first ever accessibility specialist. And so it's from just the personal side, and that I have involvement with the Academy, is a fantastic place for individuals with disabilities to reskill and sort of redirect into currently either accessibility or Salesforce. Building on top of that, those students that go through the course and get their certification, there are 2 apprenticeship opportunities. I believe, Amy, I know you're in here, but as far as I know, last I heard, those are still the only 2 registered apprenticeship programs with the Department of Labor for professionals with disabilities. And so one of those apprenticeship is under my side that I supervise within is accessibility. The other one of those is within Salesforce. Those are 2-year apprenticeship programs designed to give those apprentices 2 years worth of real hands-on experience working with clients, doing real projects, building their portfolios and building their resumes so that they can hit those career opportunities, hit the ground running. Those opportunities are from what I've seen and from a supervisory perspective, those opportunities are nothing short of life-changing. Watching somebody go from I'm confined to government programs like Social Security to I can work and gainfully contribute to making our world more accessible. That shift and being able to watch that, there's nothing that I can compare that to. And the last vertical, just to kind of keep within the 7 to 10 minutes, the last vertical is the professional services. And there's really 4 verticals there. One is accessibility, which our apprentices get to work on those projects. The second is in Salesforce. The third is in corporate training, so going into organizations and empowering them to talk about accessibility, to talk about disabilities, to be curious, to break down those barriers that would otherwise prevent that organization from hiring someone with a disability or starting their own accessibility process. And the fourth one is the staffing and recruiting, partnering with organizations to open up those employment opportunities. I failed to mention when I was talking about the Academy that those courses are free to individuals with disabilities. There is no cost associated to take any of the current courses or any of the future courses. And within the apprenticeship, there are opportunities for organizations to partner and collaborate with BIT through different grants to get apprentices working on real projects within your organization. So lots of ways that individuals and organizations alike can sort of collaborate and work with BIT to push career opportunities for individuals with disabilities, to increase awareness, to increase access and inclusion. And so if you have any questions beyond today's conversation, I would definitely send an email to info@blindit.org or reach out to myself or Amy, who's on the call directly.
Excellent, James. Thank you. BIT is moving and shaking. This is an organization that if you don't know about, you should really take a look at. This group is full of passionate individuals working to improve opportunities for the blind and low vision community. My understanding is most, if not all, of the staff members at BIT have vision loss, including the CEO, who is Mike Hess, fearless leader and advocate for blind individuals and low vision individuals. So
he's also from Ohio.
To admit, I didn't know.
Yeah,
but
he's from up north. But yeah, okay. Majority of the team is blind, visually impaired, or has some form of disability. So it's not it's people with disabilities leading the conversation, leading the way. I am one of those team members that there isn't very much that gets in the way or stops our team. that we're all about shaking and moving and breaking down those barriers and those obstacles to create those opportunities.
That's right. Wonderful organization. We will have information on the Cincy Source page. We are also going to be hosting a webinar in September that will feature Mike Hess and Blind Institute of Technology. It will be an hour-long webinar, so keep an eye out for information about that as we get closer. If you have any questions for James, please note them or enter them into the chat, and we will have time for questions at the end of our presentation. So thank you, James. We appreciate all that wonderful information. All right, and next I'm going to invite Lauri. I think I heard you hop on. Are you?
I am here.
Us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Right.
Great.
Lauri, if you want to take the stage, introduce yourself, your organization, and tell us a little bit about Ohio State School for the Blind.
Perfect. My name is Lauri. I'm a parent mentor at the Ohio State School for the Blind. I also have a son, an adult son, who is blind and has something called cortical visual impairment, in addition to his other disabilities. So I've been there at the school for about 22 years, working with families across the state. Just a little bit of background information about the school. We were the first public school for the blind in the country. So 1837, we were established. And back then, that was the only choice that students had, was to go to the School for the Blind. Now, because of IDEA and Section 94-147, kids are educated mostly in their local public schools, but sometimes it is determined that OSSB is the best placement for them. So that's when we kind of jump on and have kids coming to the school to learn more of the academic skills, expanded core curriculum skills, things like that. And I'm pretty sure, I was really interested to learn about James and Blind Institute of Technology, and I'm pretty sure that perhaps they are working, some of our students may be working with that agency. So I'm sorry I can't stick around longer at the end to learn more about it. We, at the School for the Blind, we now fall under the umbrella of the Ohio Deaf and Blind Education Services. That's an umbrella that covers the School for the Blind, the School for the Deaf, and statewide services and outreach. So, and as well, our Early Learning Center, which handles our students who are the youngest, 3 to 5 years old. We also have, as part of that early intervention, the children who are being served in their homes from birth until 3 years old. We also work with those students across the state through our director, Jenny Remus, who's in charge of that. So, like I said, just a little bit of background or a little bit more. Obviously, we are not the only school that students are going to. Many students, most are going to their local public school. But if they are having trouble finding the services that they need, for instance, Braille or assistive technology, those kinds of things, there are shortages of what's known as teachers of the visually impaired across the country, across the state. So again, sometimes there are not those services available in their district. And that's when we become an option for those students. We are a residential public school. So again, some of the students are living on campus during the week, going home on the weekend, being transported by their school district. We work really closely with all the local public schools across the state to meet the needs of the students. Our goal is not to have a student come in and stay with us, for 12 years, or that's the way it used to happen. But I would say more now, they're coming in either, let's say, kindergarten, because they need to learn Braille and they don't have access to a teacher of the visually impaired. Some students come in at high school because they are interested in playing sports and they don't have that opportunity in their local school. We provide, we have sports where we compete against other schools for the blind. And some of the areas that we compete in are track and field, wrestling, cheerleading, swimming, goalball, which I wonder if some of you have heard of. It's a Paralympic sport now. And forensics, which is a speech and drama program. So again, our students are able to join the teams, compete against other students, travel to those other states, and experience that whole piece of, forming friendships, people who have similar experiences and interests as they do. So it's been really kind of beneficial to a lot of kids. We are able to, there's so much I want to tell you, but there's so limited time. And I also want to say that in future meetings, perhaps our director of teaching and learning, or the principal at the School for the Blind, or the statewide services and outreach could come on and give you guys a little bit more information. We work really closely. We are a small school, so we're serving, perhaps 120 students throughout the state, but then that statewide services is able to reach out and provide some other opportunities out in the communities, out in the local districts, providing kind of training and education for school districts and school teams, and doing some evaluations and things like that. A couple of important things that we can offer for students and families is once they are age 14, and this is what I'm thinking a lot regarding what James spoke about, we have a transition coordinator working with all of our students age 14 until they graduate, or as long as they're with us, to make sure that they are doing interest surveys and really figuring out what it is they want to do after they leave OSSB. Some of our students will leave and go into employment. Some will go into further education to a 2-year or 4-year college. And some will be in their community getting supported day habilitation programs and supported living potentially. Gosh, like I said, there's so much I want to tell you. I don't know that I have much more time, maybe another minute or so. Again, I work with families all over the state, not just students who attend the School for the Blind. I can work with a family, for instance, right now I'm working with a family in Toledo and one in Mansfield, just to make sure those kids are getting the education they need, that because it is a low incidence disability, there are not often a great number of blind and visually impaired students that are in those districts. I've talked with schools before where they've had one blind or visually impaired student in like a 30-year career. So to be able to help them understand accommodations and the needs of these students is what I really focus on. But again, we'll have our principal come back sometime, hopefully, and statewide services and outreach to go into a lot more detail about that. My son attended the public school for K-5, and then when it got to be middle school time, we decided OSSB might be a better placement. There is no cost, no tuition. It is covered completely by our state tax dollars that we're paying. The only cost is transportation. So the local district works carefully with us to provide that transportation weekly or daily for the students. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of background information about the school, and I'll hope to come in and listen to more of your Cincy Source meetings too. Thank you.
Lauri, thank you so much for the very important work you're doing for the young, blind, and low vision community in Ohio, and for your dedication to those students. I'm glad that you were able to join us tonight, and I'm happy to connect you and James. I think that there are a lot of very important opportunities for high school and college age students through BIT. And so happy to make those connections, and we'd love to have you and team back on another Cincy Source. There are also opportunities at the local level through the Foundation Fighting Blindness Cincinnati chapter, and we have other chapters in the Ohio area as well. So maybe some other opportunities there down the road for collaboration. So thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for the wonderful information you shared. Okay, so next I am going to invite Cassandra to take the spotlight and tell us a little bit about Xavier University.
Okay, can everyone hear me okay?
We sure can.
Okay, great. I am Cassandra Jones. I am blind. I lost my sight due to detached retinas when I was young at 2 different times in my life. I am a Braille reader, and I always enjoy reading Braille, whether it's digital or paper. I am currently working at Xavier University as the Director of Accessibility and Disability Resources. And so over the years, I've found that I have worked with many students who have low vision or who are blind, either in this role or at my previous role at Wright State University. So when it comes to accommodations for students who are blind or low vision, all the accommodations are determined on a case-by-case basis. So we meet with the student and talk about what their needs are. Maybe they might need a certain font for paper tests, or maybe they need digital formats for their books. So it just is based on it's on a case-by-case basis based on like how their disability is impacting them in that environment so that we can determine together what they need. It's important also to understand that accommodations cannot change the requirement of a course or program. So even though a student might be blind or low vision, they will still be required to meet all of the core requirements for their program and that of the university. So sometimes I've had parents reach out and say, you know, their student is blind, will they have to take math? And the answer is yes. So we can't exempt a student from taking core requirements that are required for the degree. We can substitute sometimes depending on what the major is and what's required, but all students have to take the required courses. We also work with some students. I've worked with students who are blind, who come to the university, and of course they have to learn to navigate independently. So I've worked with their VR counselors to help arrange orientation and mobility for them, to allow them to be independent on campus, getting back and forth from their residence hall to, you know, their classrooms to the cafeteria. And I always make sure the cafeteria workers know how to assist someone who might be coming who's blind or low vision. Also, it's important to know that we will assist, like we have assisted with students like funding who may not be connected to VR but need some orientation and mobility because they do need to learn how to navigate campus. Again, accommodations are determined on a case-by-case basis, and we meet students where they are in terms of what they need and making sure they have access to their curriculum and also co-curricular activities as well. So that is basically what happens. Thank you.
Great. Cassandra, thank you for sharing all that information about Xavier University. And again, if anyone has questions, just hold on to those, and we'll invite you all back to hop on to ask those questions here in a few minutes. All right, and our last presenter for the evening is Mark. Mark, are you still with us?
I am here.
All right, Mark's with Tin Can Productions, and I am gonna hand you the microphone here. Mark,
All right.
you want to take it away?
All right, thanks. Let's see. So apparently my video is not working.
That's okay. We can hear you.
Yeah, I've had a few phone calls and kind of screwed it up, I guess.
Oh, your video is working.
You.
It is, okay.
Yep.
Let's see, Tin Can Productions, yes. I used to work for the Cincinnati Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired as the broadcast manager of the radio station. And maybe some of you know Deborah Kendrick. She came up to me and she said, like, you know, you'd be pretty good at audio description. And I kind of put it off for years. And finally, somebody else asked, they needed some audio describers. And I agreed to try it. And I guess I was all right at it. They invited me back. And eventually, the person that had that, he wanted to go away. That was Mike Snyder, and it ended up with me. So what is audio description, you might ask? It's where people can go to the theater, and unfortunately, they're listening to me in one ear as they listen to a great show. And I kind of try to, along with a few others that do the audio description at different times, try to describe what's going on in the theater. So in the beginning, I try to tell what the set looks like. And, it might be a 2-story house or something. Tell what the living room looks like. Maybe the phone, maybe it's a rotary dial phone. Somebody pick it up and dial. When it rings, don't really say that it's ringing because they can hear that. When people are moving about, well, let's step back just a second. I try to tell who's on stage and not really moving back and forth. Sometimes I'm in that bad habit, maybe, that I do. But like Deborah said, the other people that were doing it, they described too much. She was like, we can hear them moving around. So it's like, oh, okay. So I try not to do that. And the secret is not trying to talk over their voice, which I'm never very successful at. So some of the places that we have audio description, and let me back up just for a second here. Mike Snyder, he's the voice of something called PTP, and that is personalized talking print, and that's with the Cincinnati Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired. If you don't have that, if you want to find out what shows are audio described, that's a good way to find out. And it's a good way to find out other things also. You can have maybe pieces of the newspaper read. I don't know how much it's changed since I've been gone, but it used to be magazines, newspapers. You'd have somebody reading that. Mike, he tells what the audio description shows are, and at the end, he'll give the phone numbers where you can call and find out more. So we do have audio description at the Covedale, at the Broadway in Cincinnati. Covedale's over for the year. Broadway in Cincinnati, Saturday, I'm describing Anne Juliet, which is more like a, gosh, it's loud. It's like a rock and roll show. I don't know how many people in attendance, if they're there, will be listening to me because that's loud. And A Beautiful Noise is coming May 10th at the Aronoff. Shakespeare Company, April 11th, it's The Tempest, and Miss Dalloway is the 23rd. I just got some information on the opera, which they're doing Opera in the Park, and I think that's at Blue Ash. The person asked if I could, we could do that, and I said, yeah, we can do it. I'll find out more about that, but I think it's at the Blue Ash Park. And there's three shows there at different times. And children's theater this year, we're doing children's theater in the new theater, which starts Saturday, October 18th. Let's see. Also, about me, I guess, I was... because of the radio reading services, Cincinnati Association for the Blind, Visually Impaired, I was a member of the International Association of Audio Information Services, which is many radio reading services across the country. And each year we would get together for a conference there. And I was on the board for many years. And I was treasurer of ORS, ORRS, which is the Ohio Radio Reading Services. And there are, I don't know, 9 or 10 maybe reading services in Ohio, perhaps. And I could never get off the treasury because nobody else wanted to do it, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know if my minutes are up or not. but I think that I'm out of maybe almost information, but I'll stick around if there's any questions, I guess. Maybe there's some questions now. I don't know.
Excellent, Mark. Thank you. What a wonderful resource to provide in the community. I know for myself, I rarely go to movies, and we don't really have a lot of Broadway shows in South Alabama where I am, but even just the movie theater, I often don't go because I miss so much content through just watching.
I might add that a week or two ago, I did a school. They had a play at a school, and I think maybe 5 blind or visually impaired people were at that production.
Oh, okay. That may be something of interest to our presenters from Xavier University and Ohio State School for the Blind. So thank you for sharing that. All right. I would like to open up for questions. Chelsea, if there are any questions in the chat, if you could help with those, that would be great. We're going to open up the floor for questions for our presenters. Please feel free to ask away. And then after that, we will be opening up the resource roundtable for any other professionals that might want to showcase or highlight any upcoming events. So questions for our presenters, hop on in. And Chelsea, are there any in the chat?
We currently do not have any questions in the chat. However, Lauri did drop her email in the chat for everyone.
Excellent. So if you have questions for Lauri, we can share her email directly, or you can email me with those questions, mglaze@fightingblindness.org, and I can get those to her and get you connected. Any questions for our presenters?
I have a question for Cassandra. I am wondering how many vision impaired or blind students receive services at Xavier on average in any given school year?
I would say 1 to 2.
Okay, thank you. I had no idea. I thought it's either a low number or 50. I don't know. I had no idea. No idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
1 to 2. And like I said, I've had students who are blind who use Braille, to students who are low vision. So it just depends.
Okay, thank you.
This is Jim Shirk. I had a question for Mark. Mark, how would I'm just thinking about, as you mentioned, schools that might have school plays that would need audio description. How do you market yourself, or how do folks know how to find you? How can we promote your services?
Well, that's a good question. Usually it's the venue that puts it on. So they come to me so I can schedule the audio description, whether it's me or somebody else in our stable, if you will. And I'll give you my phone number. I'll put the phone number out there. I forgot to do that. It's 513-888-8007. And if you call, I don't pick up. That's probably not unusual. Like my phone was in theater mode. Since I just got back from the theater last night, I forgot to turn it on. But just leave a message. I'll get it. Text is also good too. Talk to the school about audio description, because it's up to them, if they want to do it. So.
And is there that's a fair question, but an average cost for the services?
There is a cost for the services, yes. And as far as I know, all radio reading not radio reading, all services of audio description have fees. I've talked to some people to get an idea on what the fees are, and I found out that what we do here, we're the lowest fee of the bunch I've talked to. So.
I have a follow-up question for that. If I have a video or something that I'm looking to get audio descriptions on, can I work with you to get that, or is it mostly just in the live setting?
I've never done really a video on that. I mean, it wouldn't be that difficult to do. I also do something that's Tin Can Legacy videos, where we go out and say you want your father to lay down his legacy video. We go there and record it and professionally do it. So it wouldn't take that much to, take the audio off, add audio to it, or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's fairly easy.
Well, even just a separate audio track.
Yeah. And I would see I have a few people that I kind of lean on. One person was from Oxford, Miami University up there, and she was with the gosh, what was she? She is like a professor of gosh, I can't think what she is a professor of now. But we just had a fashion show, and I thought she would be really good at that. So we hired her to do that. Gordon Graham, he used to work for Channel 19. He was a
that sounds like a name for TV.
well, you know what? His dad, because we did his video, legacy video, and he was gosh, back in the 80s and 90s, he was on CNN, so which was kind of cool. Gordon, camera person, on-air personality and stuff, and he's got a great voice. If you wanted something like that done, I'd hook you up with Gordon. I'd get tired of hearing my voice.
Hey, Mark, I was curious. This is Mike Lyons again. When you do a live event, when you're doing a voiceover for live events, do you also supply the hardware for the people to listen through? You supply the microphones and the headsets?
Yeah, what most of the venues have the headsets. They would be the ones that they use for a listening device.
Mhm.
And they have different channels, and they can put the channel on an audio description channel. So they're hearing me, and the people that need it for hearing don't hear me, hopefully. And an event that doesn't have the equipment, I do have equipment.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent questions. I have a question, and then if there are others that have additional, please hop on. James, I was wondering if you could share a little bit about any age limitations for individuals that are interested in getting set up for the courses through BIT, and also the length of most of the courses and placement. How many people are placed in careers when they finish up?
Yeah, great question.
A series of questions there.
So I'll start with the beginning, with the age. I personally, in the accessibility course, have had students from 18 to mid 70s.
Wow.
Yes, I'm 27, so for me, it's interesting to have a student that's older than me, but nonetheless, we've had students of all ages, but more so important, I think, we've had students from all around the world. I've had students from South Africa, from Belarus, from North Macedonia, India, the United States, all over the place. So anybody, any age, any point in their life, any location can sign up to become a BIT career seeker and go through some of the courses and workshops available. Now, as far as the length of course, the accessibility course is kind of going through a revamp right now. Traditionally, it's been 14 weeks long. And so the revamp, we're taking part of the instructor-led and we're making it self-paced so that more people can get the fundamentals And the people that just want the fundamentals can get them, but the people who actually want to pursue that career path can continue into the instructor-led. And the Salesforce admin course is the same way. They have the fundamentals, and then they have the associate certification followed by the instructor-led, ultimately leading to the Salesforce admin certification. But the length of the course can vary. I believe it's up to 25 weeks. So not a short class, but not a super long class either. And all of them, even the new ones, will lead to some sort of certification on the end, because again, that end goal is placement. And so when we talk about placement, which I believe was the third part to the question, we've had people placed with the state of Colorado. We've had people go work with Verizon and Pfizer. We have people that work with accessibility focused companies. We've had some of our international students in Pakistan and some of those countries over there that don't have accessibility as a part of their federal structure or infrastructure. They're now working with their government to put that in place to make sure that in the schools there's access to books and literature in Braille and large print and alternative format. So our students continue to amaze and impress us even with what they do either within the BIT vertical or on their own. And so there really is the sky is the limit when it comes to the opportunities that await on the other side, specifically to the accessibility side. Most of the people I know that work in the accessibility space, it wasn't because they applied for a job on LinkedIn or Indeed. It was they built a connection, they started a conversation, and they raised awareness and they advocated, and ultimately that job was created for them specifically. And so that's at the root of what I teach. That's what I teach is the empowerment that you are a professional with a disability. Nobody can take that away from you. So let's talk about how we can leverage that to drive the change that everybody is wanting and needing.
Excellent. Thank you. Wonderful opportunities. Any other questions? Okay. Hearing none, I would like to say thank you very much to all of our presenters. Thank you for your dedication to our community. Thank you for hopping on tonight to share and showcase. We hope you will join us on future Cincy Source meetings. To everybody on the call, if there are any upcoming events that you would like to highlight in your community, opportunities for low vision or blind individuals, collaborative opportunities, just anything that you'd like to share, showcase, ask, highlight, please hop on and do so. I will open up the floor for that now.
Hi, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Jim. I was just about to call on you and Lisa to highlight any local chapter events or
Yeah, our local chapter is having a social on Saturday, the 26th. It's a venue on Eastern Avenue / Riverside Road. And I can't think of the name of it, but I'll share that info. And it's a coffee shop / cocktail lounge, so you can get the beverage of your choice. And I think we're just going to gather together and socialize and kind of share what's going on in each other's lives and challenges, successes, etc. So anyway, any and all are welcome.
Jim, if you would like to share the details of that event with me, I can send that out when I send the recording of this session to all of the Cincy Source members.
Sure, be glad to do so.
Thank you. Mike, anything upcoming at Focal Point?
I don't have anything right now.
Oh, okay. Any others?
This is Chelsea. Michelle, I was just going to share, we do have some upcoming National Foundation offerings this month, which is going to be our insight forum on Thursday, April 24th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. And we also do have a quarterly vision webinar on mental health Saturday, May 17th as well. And that time is 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Excellent. And that would be also good to highlight and share. I will say that our professional outreach team will be sending out information about that mental health summit in May. I think that there are a lot of eye care professionals and professionals that serve the blind and low vision community that will be interested in that. So that's something that we're going to be promoting broadly. Thank you for mentioning that, Chelsea. Our professional outreach team also recently hosted a webinar called Gene Therapies for IRDs, the nuts and bolts, challenges and opportunities. It was recorded. That took place in March, on March 13th. And we had two presenters that came together for that professional facing webinar. Dr. Christine Kay, she's an MD in Gainesville, Florida at Vitro-Retinal Associates, and Thomas Mendel, who is an MD at The Ohio State University. So, he's part of your community there in Ohio. So I can get the link and include that when I send out the follow-up to this particular Cincy Source meeting, if that is of interest to anybody, or you can share with eye care professionals that you're connected with who may have an interest in watching. Any other highlights, collaborative opportunities, local area events? Okay. If anything comes to mind that you would like us to highlight in the follow-up email, please send those to me, mglaze@fightingblindness.org. Thank you again to our presenters, to our founding members. Our next Cincy Source will be in July. The date will be decided soon, and we will send that out. If you know of any professionals in your area that would be interested in participating in Cincy Source, please let us know and loop them in. To our founding member team and for others that are on the call tonight, if there's anything that you have upcoming in the next 6 months or so that you would like to highlight, an event or an opportunity, let us know. We'll bring you back to showcase and highlight that. From our professional outreach desk, my goal as an individual with vision loss is to be able to bring together professionals to ensure that everyone is aware of the opportunities to provide knowledge, community, and hope to patients and families as they go through their personal journeys with vision loss. As a reminder, the Foundation Fighting Blindness has a mission to drive research to find preventions, treatments, and cures for inherited retinal diseases and age-related macular degeneration. There are more than 50 clinical trials underway in this space, a multitude of different therapeutic modalities being investigated. And we do encourage you to visit fightingblindness.org to find out all that's underway in the field and to get involved if you're interested. It's, not necessarily is there ever a great time to have vision loss or blindness, but there's a lot of work underway, and that is where, hope comes in. This opportunity, the Cincy Source and other professional networking opportunities, that's where we are able to connect people and create opportunities for our community to independently live and thrive and flourish and enjoy the world that we live in. So thanks everyone for all of the support that you provide. Thank you for advocating. Thank you for raising awareness. And we will see you again in July. Thanks so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Good
Thank you.
evening.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.